Hi, Jonathan York from Bay Financial Partners, looking at investment markets. We're getting a pretty sort of interesting time out there for investment markets. Latest data from the US on the employment side was possibly a little bit on the weakish side. Certainly was nowhere near as strong as last time out, but still, around 160,000 jobs were created, which still gives you a reasonable sort of 12-month running average. And potentially all points to the Fed looking to start to reduce its balance sheet in September. And also as well keeps the Fed on track for one further rate hike this year, more than likely in December. But against the backdrop of that, you've got the ongoing tensions with North Korea, and it's just going to be very interesting to see how this sort of plays out. At the moment, neither side really wants to sort of blink. Korea is sort of forging ahead and sort of testing missiles left, right, and centre, and really sort of pushing the West to the max, just to see what their reaction is. Trump has probably pretty much come out swinging and sort of said maybe the time for talking is over. Certainly there's been quite a bit of talking over the last sort of 2 to 3 years, and it really doesn't seem to have got anywhere. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this sort of plays through. Most still don't believe that there will be a military conflict, but it's just going to be very interesting to see how it plays through. And obviously there's really quite a bit at stake as well, potentially with obviously the Chinese as well. Obviously, after the horrific events in Texas as well, it's just going to be very interesting to see how that sort of plays through on the US GDP. Potentially you might see a little bit of a slowdown, but then obviously as the recovery and the sort of rebuilding takes place, that should be a little bit of a boost to the US economy. Just as we get Harvey out of the way, there's a further hurricane forming out there and potentially could hit Florida. So that's again sort of put a little bit of pressure on oil prices, and they're sort of trading up a little bit towards that sort of $48, $49 a barrel. RBA in Australia left rates unchanged, no real surprise there. And probably they're getting a little bit more sort of comfortable with the economy. Housing market seems to be coming off the boil a little bit. But also as well, the Australian economy is showing a little bit of resilience and a little bit of growth going forward. Certainly quite a few infrastructure projects going through. And with the Commonwealth Games there in 2018 as well, that's providing a little bit of a pickup in growth as well. Here in New Zealand, as we're growing towards the election now, really is getting very close. If you look at the polls out there, there's very little to separate the two major parties, and just going to be sort of interesting to see what sort of deals can be done on the side there to try and sort of form the next government. But overall, again, New Zealand market's sort of pushing on a pretty good rate. Growth is okay here in New Zealand for the New Zealand economy, and the equity market is sort of pushing on. It's at a reasonable rate. It's just sort of got one eye on the election and just waiting to see how that might sort of play through. Potentially Labor could have a sort of capital gains tax. It's just going to be interesting to see what that will sort of encompass. Now, if you're interested in income options, call us on 0800 867 323 or go to the website www.bayfinancialpartners.co.nz for lots of interesting articles. We look forward to speaking to you soon.